and then let the water run really cold. This is one of the hardest things to do. Freezing cold water. The reason why I do this is because it's really difficult not to think about some of the worst things in life when you wake up in the mornings. And I think the cold water shocks the system. It's not about keeping you like waking you up or anything. Of course, it will wake you up, like, but you're awake. You woke up. You're out of bed. You know, you don't need cold water to wake you up. You're awake. The cold water, I think, gives a wee jolt, a wee jolt. You know, like electricity. Has the same effect, sort of thing. You know, you jump in the freezing cold water, you could have a heart attack. You know, so somebody puts 2,000 volts into you, you can have a heart attack as well. So, yeah, there is comparisons to be made. And, you know, once I find doing it, you know, it's quite, see, get over the first one, it's quite nice, you know, and if you look at it as a wee shock, a wee bit of shock treatment. Takes your mind off everything. It really does. It does take your mind off everything. But yeah. So that's it. A cold water. You know, I get showered at night time. I like getting in the bed clean, so I do. You know, so I don't need to worry about too much. You know what I mean? In the morning. You know, if you feel like you need a shower, you know, you can get a shower, but you don't need to jump in a shower straight away. You know, get up, get some cold water in your face, and get yourself down into your kitchen. I need to have a coffee, you know, and I think it's just in the brain. I need to have a coffee, you know. But yeah, mornings are difficult, guys. Mornings are really, really difficult. The mornings starts the rest of your day, you know. The morning sets the rest of your day out. Your wee brother is most active in the morning. Your wee brother or your wee sister, you know. And I don't know why it is and stuff like that, you know. But I have worked out this one of the secrets to staying on top of mental health is definitely the morning routine, you know. And I don't know if it's because whenever you're depressed or whenever you're down or you're going through a trauma or you're going through something, um, we find ourselves lying in bed a lot. We don't want to get up. There's no motivation, you know. So I think lying in bed will always, if you're dealing with trauma, lying in bed will always trigger that sort of reaction. I believe, you know, it's if that's what you've been through, that's what I've been through, you know. You can, you know, times you just don't get out of bed, you know, and you don't get showered, you're not showering regularly, you know, splashing cold water in your face, you know what I mean? You know, you're not seeing nobody all day, you know what I mean? You're not doing anything really, you know. Obviously, if you're a sweater and all that, you know what I mean, then you would get showered. I'd imagine. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe not. You know, mental health is so brutal, so absolutely brutal, and it changes so many good people in so many ways. You know, and you know, you know, I've got to be honest. Of course, there's been times when I've maybe gone a week without getting a shower, maybe more. You know, when I was really bad. You know, and yeah, that can lead to all sorts of problems psychologically, and because you're not proud of yourself. You know, if like me, a shower a day, man, always active, gym. You know, sometimes two, three showers a day, sometimes depending on what I'm doing. You know, when I was really active and young and going to the gym and you know it's different times, you know what I mean? We behave differently, you know what I mean? But that's got nothing to do with mental health. That's just old age, you know. And we've got to understand there's differences and all that, and it's very easy to get one mixed up with the other. You know, getting old and slow, and um, maybe not thinking as quick and stuff like that can all affect your mental health in a certain way if you're already dealing with stuff which is, so it's very important as you get older to get the wee fine details. You know what I mean? It's not difficult when you wake up to get up, you know, and I don't know what good time for you is, but the way you can work it out is what time you go to bed, and you can get into a routine. And the secret is getting up early. Making a good bedtime routine is simply getting up early, and I know it's really difficult, but the secret is getting straight up out of bed. You know what I mean? Straight up out of bed, getting something warm on you so you're nice and cozy. Even if you've got to get a couple of t-shirts on and a jumper and a wee dressing gown or a jacket, doesn't make a difference. Who cares? The most important thing is you're warm and you're comfortable. That's number one, right? Very important. Number two is that you do the shock treatment. You let the water run for ages, right? And you just boom, you do it. That first one is brutal. And then just give yourself a couple of seconds or a minute and just relax, you know, just relax. And just think how lucky you are to be able to stand up the sink you're at on your own two legs, you know, and do this, you know. And you're still going to be a bit foggy and that, and but I promise you, as seconds go by, you will feel a lot better and a lot clearer, and then you've got to get your routine from then on in, you know what I mean? If hopefully you've got a dog, and you get your coffee, you get your dogs around you, they know the score, they're choking to get out anyway, they're wanting to get out no matter what the weather is, you know what I mean? And sometimes it may be just too bad, you might let them out the back, they'll go out, do their business, and they'll come running back in. And that particular day, you can cozy in, get them next to you, and stick a bit of morning TV on if you're into that TV, or just go to YouTube and start researching. Find a hobby that you're interested in and research it. Always remember that YouTube is pretty much like Google. So if you want to search something, find something out, you can just go to YouTube and search it, and you can take educational courses. You can learn about psychology. There's so many things that are available for you to get the brain going, but it's got to be something that interests you. Um, Personally, I would want you to progress from what you learn either by going online, doing community notes, putting down your feelings on an X account or a Reddit account or whatever. Like I say, these things may sound difficult, but they're not. You just got to sign in. They do make it easy for you. You know, and always remember, you can always Google how to do something. If you're stuck at something, just write it into the Google bar. I'm trying to do this on Reddit. I'm at this stage, and this keeps happening. I promise you, there will be thousands of people that have already wrote that. Always the same. It's always never think that you're different or you're stupid or just because you can't work something out, because it can just be like mind boggling. You know what I mean? And it's not until somebody actually shows you, then you realize how easy it truly is. And it is one of them scenarios. It's just a matter of, step by step, gradually learning your way through a platform like X, YouTube, or any other channel. So that's if if you can't get out and about, that's what you can do. You can get your coffee, which I'm going to make right now. My fridge and my cooker are coming today, guys. And I've got a big bowl of homemade soup sitting on the windowsill out there, which isn't very security conscious as Lucas. I'm only telling you this because it's the last time it'll be happening. Like I need my enemies to know that I'm keeping my food in my windowsill. You know what I mean? But no, not that I have any enemies. I wouldn't like to think so. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go and get my cup. 2 seconds. So it was a wee bit of drama this morning, guys. That's what I call that. Like trying to get yous into, just into, I don't know how to explain it. I just want to try and make it like, just woke up, maybe 10 minutes before that I woke up and thought, no, that's a good idea, I'll do that. It's fucking 6:30 in the morning, still dark outside, you know what I mean? And in a way as well, it's, I'm on my own, you know what I mean? So that's quite lonely, waking up on my own, and I thought to myself, well, some of my followers wake up and I'm quite sure they go onto YouTube and hopefully, because you watch my videos, they should pop up, but as I'm hearing from you, they aren't, It does annoy me. It does annoy me. I can see I'm losing followers. It's not that I'm losing followers, guys. It's like I've got 2,500 followers and I'm getting 200 views, so obviously YouTube are not putting my video out at all, any of my videos, and I totally understand that. Yeah, I get it. I'm not stupid. I'm not moaning. I'm not complaining. You know, at the end of the day, some things in life that are hard, really difficult, they're the ones that are worth doing, and it's one of them things that I wouldn't expect any less, from the establishment, from the society that I've grown up in, it's disappointing because it's disappointing for other people that aren't getting a chance that I could maybe help, somebody could maybe want to reach out that's going through a really hard time, you know what I mean? Because like the whole point of this is to try and like somebody like it's struggling like me, was struggling like me, that was in a really bad place, stuck in the house, just watching YouTube, curtains shut, not showering, totally grieving, break my fucking heart. And, to have found somebody like me and them going, listen, you're sitting there like this, fucking contact me. You know what I mean? That would have been amazing for me to sit and speak to somebody that had been through it. Somebody like me who I would definitely listen to, And that's the difficult part about it all, you know what I mean? That YouTube feel that me talking about grooming gangs and the fact that it's predominantly Pakistani men that were doing the grooming gangs and not Asian like the government are telling us, and criticising the government and everything they do because everything they do they're doing wrong, and they they lied. They can't. They. I know of 5 lies that they told the public to get into power. They deceived the public to get in the power, and I'm, as a human being, cannot not talk about that and be disgusted and angry and demand another election. Because if I buy a car and the guy says to me that's it, that, and the other, and I take the car home and it's the total opposite, I'm taking the car back, and getting my money back. You know what I mean? Because that's all right. If somebody sells you something and they tell you lies about that product, and you take that product home and it does totally the opposite that they said, as long as you've got the receipts, you can take it back, you know. So that's my logical way of thinking in life, and that's why I'm totally blown away that they're still in power and the damage that they're doing while they're in power. So they lied, and not only that, the damage is really, really bad. It's shockingly bad. Like women and children are suffering up and down the breadth of the country because of absolute lunacy. Lunacy. Yes, our refugees are welcome, of course, and we want to help as many people as we bloody can. But we're taking in men that are really, really bad, evil men. And we're going to see the reproductions of what the government have done shortly, and it's going to be horrific. It's going to be really bad, and it's just going to be non-stop, and it's going to get worse. And then when we try and fix it, it's going to get even worse and worse and worse. There's nothing good going to come from it, no matter what way you look at it, guys. No matter what way you go, what road you go down, it doesn't matter. Even if Labour win right? The next election and the next election, all that's going to happen is 20 or 30 years down the line, Muslims will have majority vote. You know, there's no two ways about it. One, a lot of people will leave the country because areas will change, and it wouldn't suit me, it's not going to suit you, we're not going to stay there, we're going to move. People are going to be moving about all over. That's going to cause problems on its own. Councils are going to be overstrained, especially councils in places like this where other, like, people are trying to get away from certain areas. And it's nothing to do with racism or discrimination. It's simply to do with fear. The fear of your children walking to school, the fear of your children playing in the parks because of what we're seeing. And it's not being racist, it's only what we're seeing. It's what we're seeing, them taking photographs of our children. We're seeing attacks in the parks. Everything everything where our children are going or where our children are frequent, there's things that are happening. That's predator behaviour. And that's how bad it is. You know, that's the logical side of it, guys. The way everything is looking, it's predator behaviour. So predator behaviour is when men are going out and hunting. It's not like the paedophiles of our day when it was the uncle or the second cousin or the school teacher or the church leader or the scout leader. You know, that's what we're used to. That's what we grew up with, you know. Um, yeah, we had the paedophile rings in Parliament and all the rest of it. And yes, there's paedophile rings here, there, and everywhere. I'd get that. But I'm talking about logically and normality is what we're used to in life, you know. But now we've got predators, we've got packs of men who are predating, going out and targeting young girls, either by grooming or by force. And it's happening in Ireland, it's happening in England, and it's happening all over the place. And the government are bending over backwards to try and silence people like me that are telling you this because they don't want you to know, because they simply don't want you to know. Because if everybody knew the truth that was going on, then everybody would be up in arms, and Labour would then be just, it'd be an avalanche for them. They wouldn't be able to handle it. And they're trying to hold back the tide right now. That's all they're doing, is trying to hold back the tide. They try and get as many people in as they can while holding us back to build up, you know, and that's exactly what they're doing, holding us back, and their voting thingy's going up like that. We're coming closer and closer, but not at enough speed, guys. You know, what can we do? They're using laws, they're bringing in an Islamophobia thing where you can't criticise Islam at all. If you cannot criticise Islam, that is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. The implications from that are absolutely shocking. I need a coffee. So I'm sorry it's went down this way again. Just talking about YouTube and the reason why channels like mine don't get recommended and they just die off. And you know, and I can't. I've seen Dino Bean. You know, I brought Dino Bean to you guys. DINOBANE. If I don't, I'll probably have to throw some cap cut. I will, because I've turned it off. So I'll stick it up again for you. And he was like saying himself, you know what I mean?
Hello guys, welcome to the channel. I just want to give you guys a quick update. For people that follow my channel, you'll know that I've had so many issues with YouTube, it's unreal. And for such a small channel, you'd think that it would go quite smoothly, but I guess there's something about my channel that they really, really dislike. Maybe it's the UK government putting pressure on YouTube, I don't know, but there's been just constant issues with this channel. From what was an amazing rapid growth to just having its legs shot out from under it, and then just struggling each video to make even the tiniest little bit of revenue, gaining subscribers, maybe like 5 or 6 subscribers for each video, barely being shown outside of my actual subscriber base. And the issue has just been compounded now by them demonetizing the entire channel.
Like, you got to understand as well, but I'm going to tell you this because you need to know this. Like, I think his information, you know, I've promoted the guy and I think the guy does good stuff, but the guy doesn't live in Britain. Okay, that's important. You know what I mean? It's important for other YouTubers to be very careful that they don't copy other YouTubers that are outside of Britain. okay? Because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by doing that, you know. And you've got to understand the law. You've got to have a good lawyer. You've got to know the courts. You've got to know the system. You've got to be able to know how to fight, you know. And, you know, anything ever happens to me, I do understand that I will go to prison, and then it will go to trial, and then I'll most likely get found guilty. Then it would probably be an appeal, and then probably a human rights thing that would probably eventually get me off. But you know, I put myself in a situation all the time where they can, you know, I don't even know how, because there's not a racist bone in my body. I'm only saying what I see. I'm only saying what I see, what's going on in the world. I'm not reporting any lies. I'm not making anything up. In fact, I'm actually dampening a lot of things down because I can't speak openly the way I do to people outside of this YouTube. Because obviously, some people have questioned when they see me, you know, they only watch one video, you know, and it's not that they question, because like I say, I'm not a hard man, but people don't really do that with me, like question me or pull me up, you know, but I always pick it up, you know, and when I do pick it up, I address it. I don't let them get away, and I don't let them just say a wee comment in a certain way that maybe makes me feel, you know, that, you know, they're saying something without saying it. You know, you say what you mean and mean what you say. That's my policy. And when it comes to something that means so much to me, i.e. my YouTube channel, then I'm going to defend it to the hilt. And yeah, I don't think I've had a situation yet where the person hasn't walked away totally understanding and wanting to watch my videos a wee bit more closely, you know, because a lot of people don't know that there's estimated 250,000 girls affected. A lot of people don't know that there was 1,400 children abused in Rotherham. A lot of people don't know that there's over 50 cities that the government have admitted to. And a lot of people don't know that a good percentage of the men breaking into the country are really bad criminals and terrorists that other Muslim countries have kicked out. You know, and you know, there is good guys that are, like, obviously, like I say to my mates, we talk, like, I'll be honest with you guys, the way I talk is like simple as this, like this. You know, if it was me, I would do it. You know, if I was over there living in Iraq, again, and that's an absolute shithole. You know, put yourself in that situation. Now you just grew up, say you're 20 years ago, what, fucking, sorry for swearing, guys. The Iraq War was what, 15, 17 years ago, 20 years ago. So these young kids would be in 20s, 30s now. Right? So if they were 10, they'd be 30 now, right? If they were just born, they would be 20 now. So these are the men that are coming over. You got to understand that, for one. So they're, you know, there's a lot of bad things come from that, but you've also got to understand that these children have been brought up in a war-torn country, you know, and you know, yes, it's sad, but also mental health will be bad, you know. They will have had to do maybe bad things to survive in life, you know. It would have been a dog-eat-dog world. There would have been bits of country where there's no electricity, never mind food and safe drinking water. They would have watched people die of diseases. They would have watched people suffer as they grew up, you know. And they would have had a lot of hate. They would have had a lot of hatred in their heart because of the ideology and the indoctrination that they get also from the people around them in these sort of places: Syria and Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. So there's a lot of stuff that creates the people that we're dealing with that are coming over here. And it's very important that we understand who these people are. And we don't just blindly, you know, just call them thugs and rapists and all the rest of it, because yes, of course they are, but we need to understand who they are. Why are they the way they are? And if we can understand that, then we have a total understanding of how to deal with it all, you know. And like I say, there will be guys, there will be decent people, decent human beings that, like me, were caught up in a bad situation. And maybe if had to deal, they'll do some bad things, maybe, you know, but maybe they haven't, you know. And they see an opportunity and they take it, and they find themselves in Britain, you know. And you're going to get guys They aren't rapists. They're not. They're not. They haven't got that in their heart. You know. They might be practicing Muslims, might follow in Islam, but they might actually be truly good human beings. You know what I mean? So you can see the problem that, or you can understand where the left are coming from, because they concentrate on these people. So there was a judge called Judge Pickles years and years ago, and he turned around and he said he would rather let 10 guilty men go than in prison one innocent man. Right? Judge Pickles, that's the statement he made. And I thought it was quite, I was in my 20s, maybe middle 20s, I can't mind. And I thought, wow, I was impressed, very impressed, because you don't hear that kind of thing from judges, you know what I mean? But that's that's the left, that's a left-wing ideology. And that's what they're implementing at the minute. So they would rather let all these brutal men into the country than deport one innocent man. You understand? So it's just so you can sort of get where the left are coming from. So then that brings me to when I'm thinking about it logically and talking to my friends, like, because I'm leaving a wee bit out because I'm on YouTube. And so where does that leave us as human beings to deal with this? It's simple as this. It's simple as this. When it comes down to our vulnerable, that's the most important thing. That's who we have to protect. That's the first people we have to protect. So we do no matter what we have to do to protect our most vulnerable. That is our old, our infirm, our women. I know not all women are vulnerable, so please don't take that the wrong way, ladies, and our children, okay? And if that means having to deport good people to protect our vulnerable, then unfortunately that's what needs to be done. And they are the hard choices that we need to take in life to protect our own. And, I always look at it like a family thing. I always look at it like it's my house. Britain's my house, and these are all my family, and everything's going good. And we've had the Jubilee, we've had the World Cup, and we've had the Euros, and we have the snooker competitions, and we've had the celebrity this programme, the celebrity that, and life's been quite good. We've seen wee Jimmy and wee Josie all grow up, and now they're starting to have children, and we're seeing their children starting to grow up, and life's good. And then I start bringing people, strangers in, people that aren't part of our family, and they start brutalising the most vulnerable people in our family. What would my family then expect me to do? And what do you think my family would do to me if I didn't? So that's the way I look at it with the country thing. It's like our country, Great Britain. It's as simple as that. Whenever you've got your own citizens suffering in your country, and it's your most vulnerable, I shouldn't even have to explain this. There shouldn't be a politician in the country not demanding immediate deportation of all people, illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, or the irregular immigration that's come in, that broke in, the really bad men, And like I say, it's so easy. The first place I would go would be universal credit. If they've came here and they're here over a year and they're still on universal credit and not made any attempt to look for a job, they're gone. I'm not even going to, if crimes, in jail, being in prison, anything like that, gone. Yeah, and like people, the good. So if it was me and I came from Iraq, right, and I was making $50 a month, okay, and I came to this country and I had a choice of getting universal credit or going out and putting my hand to something and making myself maybe $2-3 grand a month, because I'm a clever enough guy to get from Iraq to here, so I'll be clever enough to throw myself into some college thing and learn a trade, a gas engineer or a plumber or something that's going to make a few quid, you know what I mean? Even in the nursing or whatever. Them sort of people will stand out. Believe you me, they'll stand out. You know, there won't be any need to deport anybody like that. That would never even come into the targeting of whoever would be dealing with the deportations. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's not shocking to say all that. It's not racist to say all that. You know, I love my country. I love my family. You know, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? I've got no problem with people coming over and getting involved, and you know, there's so what? We're past all that carry on. It's like, well, you know, Britain's Britain, and if they want to come here and get citizenship and be British, you know, what I mean, they can, you know, but they can't come over here and get citizenship and pretend to be British. You know what I mean? That's not going to work. You know what I mean? But yeah, universal credit, that would be one way of finding out who's here. That's the ones that are here to just bleed us all dry. Anybody involved in crime, any foreigners who come into this country that are involved in any crime at all will be on universal credit. You know what I mean? That's part of the crime. You know what I mean? The whole part of the crime is getting PIP, getting adult disability, getting all the and everything. That's part of the crime. You know what I mean? In their head, that's the crime. You know, that's the con, that's the game. You know, and we pander to that. You know, we have NGOs and we have council workers and we have, you know, that are bending over backwards. You know what I mean? They're running around giving me threatening to fine me for a bit of rubbish in my garden, but yet they're bending over backwards to make sure these people get every benefit that's going. You know, because they've, you know, these, because obviously the guys are going, oh, I've been from Iraq, he's bombed us 20 years ago. Oh, we're sorry. You know, what do you want? You know, that's the situation that a lot of people are finding themselves in. You know, and yeah, these are people, council workers, doctors, politicians. You know, this is the concept that they're going through. But yeah, so a week. You know what I mean? So guys, basically, like the idea is to, you know, like I say, when you do that splash, that first splash, and you take that first couple of seconds, guys, please just take that couple of seconds to be so grateful for your eyesight. For, you know, and I'm sorry for anybody out there with disabilities, right? You know, it's difficult, but I know from experience most people with disabilities appreciate everything else that they've got, and they're the most amazing human beings in the world. You know, and I don't know why that is. I really don't know why that is. You know, I've never came across anybody with a disability that's ever been depressed. And I mean, honest to God, guys, maybe I just haven't been around that many people like that. But my experience with people, like, you know, maybe it's different if people become disabled. I'm talking about people who have been born disabled. You know, um, that's what makes me get over the bad thoughts, is replacing them with good thoughts. And the best thoughts you can replace are just being alive, waking up and enjoying listening to the birds. Silly, wee, stupid things that some people never get a chance of ever hearing because they're deaf. You know, standing on your own 2 feet, just being real, this, you know, splash water in your face, you know what I mean? The opportunities you have are immense, you know, and the whole point is to explore them, start exploring opportunities. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. You don't realize how much power you have. You don't realize the capabilities. You don't realize how successful every single one of you could be at anything that you put your mind to. And like I say, it's only the wee brother that stops it, you know. And maybe the splashing of the freezing cold water shuts the wee brother up. I don't know. Maybe it works like that. If you can get that into your head, you know, because the wee brother, when I wake up in the morning, the wee brother does try his best to, you know, keep me down, keep me in bed, you know, throw all the stuff, you know what I mean, all the stuff at me, and you know, I'm lucky. I've got to be lucky, you know. So I'm trying to help use, you know, so I'm not trying to. I use different techniques, you know what I mean, but you know, I'm just trying to, because I've got lucky. So it's I just need to think about lucky, and I'm getting ready to go. You know what I mean? I need to. You know, there's no other way I can be. You know, I'm so grateful to God above to give me an amazing chance. I could cry. I'm so grateful to God. I swear to God, guys, I get so emotional that God granted me when I wanted, when I chose. The fucking guys, I promise you, this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? This is what life is like for everybody. If you want something, you've just got to want it. You've just got to think about it. You've got to imagine yourself with it, and it will happen. You've got to walk towards it, but you can't just lie in your bed and think about it. You've got to make a conscious effort. Just make a small effort, and the universe will do the rest. I promise. But with Lucky, you know, it was spoke about. We made the decision. You know, it was like, you know, calendar, this date, right? I stopped smoking. I stopped smoking for 3 months. Stopped everything. Stopped the weed. Stopped cigarettes. 3 months, and we went for it. And first time we got it. First go. And you know, that was when the penny dropped for me, guys. That's when the penny really dropped for me. That everything that I've done in life is just because I wanted it. You get me? Everything I've ever put my mind to, I've got it. It's I've been successful. My problem, and it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I don't even know what I said. This is the wee brother. This is where you got to check your words, because that's very important. Me saying that, because I'm making something a problem when it's not a problem by saying that. Just by saying them words. So I'm going to recorrect my wee brother by saying it's not a problem. That's how important your words are, because your wee brother is listening to your words. So I've now told him that it's not a problem. And I know that might sound a wee bit far out there and a wee bit mad, but I can't explain it to these guys, but I promise you know, I'm not wanting anything. I'm not trying to get anything out of this. I'm just trying to help you guys. That's all. And that is one of the most important things I'll always say to you. What's what you say? What's your words? Your words are very, very, very important. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't have all the answers. I can just tell you that, you know, me growing up in life, I've never had big dreams and big goals. My dreams were to be part of it, the organisation, to grow in that organisation, to climb the ranks in that organisation. And then the silly goals were owning my own house and a bungalow and like in the middle of nowhere in the country, and like security and all that, and have a bar in my garden and own a boat. And I had all that by the time I was 26, 27. All everything I just said, I had. By the time I was 25, I was offered a command in North Down and refused it, knocked it back. Me and my best mate, because we were wanting to do our things, you know, and it's basically you're just basically a social worker. You know what I mean? You're just dealing with people's problems and antisocial behaviour shit, and the neighbours are playing the music too loud, and you know, all sorts of nonsense. You know what I mean? And I had the bungalow, I had the boat, big massive boat, sat in a big trailer out in my garden, never seen a bit of water. Had a bar in my garden, and it was so easy. And I didn't realise. I just you don't when you're doing it, you don't realise it, you know, because it just all happened so quick. And it's not till you're older and you look back and you go, you know, because they were my ambitions and goals as a wee boy. That's all I thought about. That's all I thought about. And I wanted like loads of really nice cars. I had 5 cars, you know what I mean? And a brand new Hyundai Coupe. I had a brand new Audi A4. I had a brand new Vauxhall Tigra. I had a brand new Vauxhall Megane. You know what I mean? Gotta be careful what I say, but you know, maybe to my not to my knowledge, one or two of them might have been a ringer that I found out later, you know. But at the end of the day, I had it. It was all there. You get me? I had a beautiful girlfriend. You know what I mean? When I in my I'm not gonna no problem saying this. You know what I mean? When at that time growing up, that particular time in my life, she was the best looking girl that I knew, and like every time we walked into a bar, every head turned. It was a nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare. I'm not joking. Half caste, you know, afro hair, stunning. She's like Samantha Mumba, lookalike. She was stunning, you know. And that came with all sorts of problems. So that's one of them ones. Be careful what you wish for, you know. It really is nothing to do with her, more to do with me. You know what I mean? You know, no, nothing bad about this particular girl. I'm not going to name her. I wouldn't be right. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah. All these things is what I was wanting as a wee man growing up, you know, and I got them all, you know, and then can you imagine how things went wrong after that? Because without realising it, I'd left myself nowhere to go, you know, that was it. Imagine if I had a thought about being something big, like owning a business or owning 3 or 4 businesses. Imagine if that had been my goal. If I had had people around me, parents around me, drive me to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, you know. When my foster mum, Margaret, she used to say you could sell ice to Eskimos, you know. So I always had the gift of the gab. People used to always say to me, you've got an answer for everything. So I've always had skills that I've never really recognised or really paid much attention to, you know. I was just a bank robber in and out of jail, being violent, you know, acting a hard man, being somebody I'm not. You know, that was where everything was concentrating on because I'd made a total mess of my life because I didn't have the right goals and ambitions. I didn't have anybody guiding me, you know, and maybe that's important for parents maybe to pay a bit of attention to, you know, your kids will become whatever they want to, you know, so you got to try and get that across them, be careful what they wish for, you know. Yeah, so back to it's not changed. Nothing's changed. Still, just because I dreamt it when I was a wee boy and it came true, doesn't stop. I just didn't know what I was doing. You understand? I didn't realise that when you put your mind to something, you think about something, you really want something that excites you and you want it in your heart, you'll get it. Simple. You know, you know, as you know, Katie's half my age. You know, I wanted that. I wanted a younger woman that would, you know, so we could have a baby with. You know, if I was going to have a child, I would want to have I wouldn't want to have a baby to a 50-year-old woman. You know what I mean? And that's you know that's just my personal thing. You know what I mean? And it turned out absolutely amazing human being. And like when they say age difference, honestly, and I don't know. One of my mates says that because I'm a wee bit immature, right? Okay. And because she's quite mature, we meet in the middle. That's what one of my mates said, you know what I mean? And that's the way I see it, you know. Um, I'm too, I don't know, I hate saying childish. There must be something else. There has to be something else, another word, because I hate the word childish. But yeah, I do behave quite silly sometimes, and I don't take things too seriously. And yeah, it is a problem. It was candy in jail, you know what I mean? You know, that sort of upbeat, happy, sort of always on the laugh sort of thing was quite handy in jail, like, you know. So it has had its good things, but you know, I've never been one of them serious guys, you know what I mean? Like dead serious and all that. You know, I am serious, you know what I mean, when it comes to certain things, but I'm not, I don't, you know, people once people know what line not to cross, then it's quite relaxing. You know, I can relax in prison. You can't just be happy-go-lucky guy. You need to when you go into a line, people need to get to know you. You need to be fucking a wee bit tough. You know what I mean? You need to make sure anybody starts. You need to finish it. You need to sort it. Make sure everybody knows that you're not taking any shit from nobody. You don't care who they are. And you know, and you just gotta pray that you don't start with a big gang, you know, and which has happened. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who's who in the wing. You know what I mean? You're not, you know, like really they should do a wee bit of a Iraqi, but it doesn't work like that. You go into a wing, you're just there. Back in the day, you're just there. Everybody's out and everybody's looking at you. You're a new boy in the wing. You know what I mean? And looking so young and all the rest of it. You know, it was difficult, very difficult. But you know, like I say, it was easy enough once you worked it out. Once people seen that you were violent and you would do violent things, they just everybody left you alone, and that basically that's how it worked for me. You know what I mean? I was intelligent enough to know that. You know, um, but yeah, I don't think you can get anything good I don't think you can get anything. You can't think of doing bad stuff. I'm going to be a bank robber and make loads of money. It doesn't work like that, as you can tell. The best thing ever happened to me was prison. To be honest with you, like if I hadn't got prison, I wouldn't be here. Every single sentence, I reckon there was a time. You know, I can guarantee you, at every stage in my life, when I was going into prison, I had serious enemies, serious enemies. I would fall out with some serious guys, and yeah, I've had some scary times in my day, and like commanders of other organisations. You know what I mean? Because there's the loyalists. Was like there's all different. There's UVF, Red Hand Commandos. Used to be the PAF years ago, isn't it anymore? And you've got UDA, UFF. You know what I mean? And LVF. you know, obviously I fell out with near enough every single one of them. You know what I mean? Fell out with UDA over housing, over a house. Um, Fell out with the LVF because they thought I shot one of their men. Um, who else is there? Fell out with UDA because they thought I shot one of their men. You know what I mean? And then fell out with the Red Hand twice over two stupid things. You know what I mean? One was he thought I was somebody else, and I never backed down. Fucking top guy. I'm not going to say what area and all that shit because it's just too much info, guys. And yeah, people, my closest mates know this, because they take the piss out of me after it. They picked me up the next day, and two of my mates in the front, two of my mates in the back. My mates jumped out of the back. I jumped in, not thinking nothing of it. My mates jumped in. I'm sitting between my two mates, and I'm like, where are we off to? And they're like, we're going to see such and such. And I'm like, look, you don't think we're going to see such and such? Because I've just had a fallout with him, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, because he's a top man, you know what I mean? He could have me done like that. And I'm like, fucking kidding. Because I'm thinking I'm getting done. Because if that's the way it works, if an order's given, like your mates are taking you to your death. That's the way it is. That's the orders. It's like there's no that the organisation, the paramilitaries, well, no matter who you are, Catholic, Protestant, they come first. You know, and that's you maybe get I'm not going to say I would have went following the orders if it wasn't one of my mates. You know what I mean, close mates, but 99.9% of the time, guarantee it, they're following orders, guys. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm in the back of this car. Fucking going, what are you doing, guys? Fucking let me out, you know what I mean? Fucking stop. You can't, you know what I mean? I can't remember. A lot of stuff was coming out, emotional stuff, And yeah, they're just winding me up. Okay, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Uh, there's been plenty of moments in my life when I think I went to prison because I've been protected. My guardian angel above has been protecting me, you know. And yeah, so mental health, guys. This is what this is about. This is like 37 minutes. Can you believe that? 37 minutes. So this is just a video about mental health, guys. Getting your head right in the morning. Your wee brother is very important. I just want to emphasize it's really important. Just doing a big video about how important the morning is, and some of the things that I do. And I got my dogs. You know what I mean? She looks way back to bed. Boy's snoring. He's my boy. He's out cold. So yes, he's out cold. But yeah, I just think it's important that one bit. Um, it's just a good way to start the day, and it's a good way to start the wee brother or the wee sister, and sort of look at it like a military thing. Try and plan it like a military operation. Get a routine. Get your day into a routine of enjoyable parts, whether that's reading a book, whether it's having a movie, a movie day, a part of your day where you get a wee movie, or whether you have a day, a part where you're watching the news, or a part for YouTube, or a part where you go out with a dog, or a part where you phone a friend, or a part where you write a letter to somebody. You know what I mean? Just have your day sectioned out so you're looking forward to each section. Try and build on that. It might take a wee bit of time before you find the right things that will interest you. You know, my advice is to learn. My advice is to educate yourself on different things. Try and get the brain working, like understanding. It's not about like doing sums and all that. It's just getting your brain to look at something and understand it. That's it. It'll do the rest. You will do the rest. You in here will contain that. Don't be worrying about the brain. It's like the brain and all that and getting older. Your brain will go for as long as you're going. It's when you give up in here is when the brain gives up. You understand? When you stop interacting with things and interacting with like learning, then that's when your brain will start fizzling out. That's what I personally think. So you've got to keep it going, keep learning, get yourself interested in things, get yourself interested in social media, learn how to join these platforms, you know, get an email account, write everything down in a wee book. Start off with an email account, get your password email account. No matter what happens then, if you join any other social media and you lose your password, you'll always be able to reset it because they'll send you a thingy through your email. So the email is the most important thing you've got to do, guys. Get your email set up and just start a new one. Gmail.com, Yahoo.com. There's loads. It doesn't really make a difference. Just put in, how do I start an email from scratch? Google that and then just follow the instructions. You know what I mean? And just as you're doing it, write it down. Write your email, what you're calling yourself, whether it's freedom dad, at gmail.com. Write it down and then put your password in and write your password in. I'm not going to tell you what to do password wise, that's got to be you. But there's all sorts of wee things and tricks you can do with the keyboard, like doing a letter, a shape on the keyboard, so you always know it's a square. You know what I mean? So you go blah 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 blah, and that's our password. You know what I mean? Or you can just use a couple of names that you're familiar with, but always write them down. Always have them put down, so eventually you will memorize everything. And you'll never need the book again. But it's always just a good way to get the brain, just like, starting the old engine up. So that's my advice, guys. Uh, that's the most important thing is get triggering the brain. You'll grow from that. I don't know what direction. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your interests are. I don't know what mobility you have. So it's all about all them different factions, guys. But that's my advice to use. And so I'm going to have this coffee. I'm going to have a smoke. So I am, and then I'm going to give my dogs a little small breakfast, and I'm going to give them half an hour. I'm then going to check my social medias, check any messages while I'm doing that. It's my wee routine while my dogs' food settle, because I like to give them like half an hour to an hour, and then I'll take my dogs on a nice walk. And if it's raining, I'll waterproof me, waterproof my dogs, you know. And sometimes it's difficult just getting out over the door. I mean, you just want to sit down and chill, you know what I mean? Even if you're only going out for 5 minutes, I go out for half an hour to an hour to 2 hours. Just depends, you know. It doesn't matter how long you go out for. Just going out, it's getting you away from the house, getting you away from your thingy. You're going out. If you see somebody, say hello, ask them how they're doing. You'd be surprised how many people would like to just speak about the weather. There's nothing wrong with going, see, this carry on in Ukraine still going on. You might find, oh, they're right into it, and you could be standing there for half an hour, you know, and then before you know it, you're meeting somebody every couple of days and carrying on with the conversation. That's one way you could go. But then again, couldn't meet anybody. You can talk to your dogs. You don't need to talk to anybody. That's one thing that's good. We don't really need to have anybody because we've got the internet, so you can always come on and send me a message or, throw me down a comment, I'll love heart it so I've read it, or I might reply to it. So there's always a human interaction because of the internet. And then, so I'm going to come back. At the minute, I'm decorating, so I'll start sanding. I've got one more. I've done 2 coats undercoat in the hall, and so I'm going to rub that down and then start glossing. But if I wasn't doing that, I would be interacting. I'd be talking to one of my mates or meeting up with one of my mates. So one of my mates would come through. I'm starting to try and get that more, open myself up a wee bit more to my mates, and letting people know I'm available. If you want to pop through, because I haven't, I've sort of shut myself away. And at the same time, I've got to be careful because I've got a baby. Not all mates are applicable anymore, and it's not. They understand that. Any good friend of mine understands exactly where I'm coming from. Some of my mates are fucking still involved in stuff, and I don't want any trouble coming to my door with a baby. At the end of the day, things have changed, and I'm never, I'm not going to be shy in saying that. I stand tall and strong behind all my mates. You know what I mean, and I would never ever let them down. But priorities have changed as far as my baby. My baby needs me. Katie needs me. I've never had anybody that's needed me. Like I say, when I got out of prison, I was married, started a new life. My father-in-law died, and I was looking after my mother-in-law. So that's when I started pushing people away because I had a disabled person in the house. So I couldn't. That sort of broke down a lot of the loyalist stuff that I was still involved with, the bands and all that, and just stuff that it's hard to leave it when you've been around it. You know what I mean? Especially with me being, especially during my trial when I said I was working for Special Branch, it was important that people knew the crack, and I wasn't hiding away when I got out of jail. So that was another point I made in making sure people knew exactly who I was and where I was. And I'm not hiding from nobody. I'm here. Anybody's got a problem, come speak to me rather than getting banjoed or some stupid. You know what I mean? So that was important to me. But then obviously my mother-in-law was she had MS, so things did change. That did change my thingy as well. You know what I mean? And plus I didn't want to go back to prison. Sammy waited for me and all that, man, stuck by me through jail and everything. The last thing I want to do was go back to prison and put us through all that again. So there was a lot of logical things going on in my life that I've never had before that made me think twice. So like I say, it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? It really is. You know, would I be that same guy if I had a child when I was younger? I'd like to think so, because I look at guys and I think, why are you doing this, man? You've got a win. You've got 3 fucking wins. And you're jumping about doing this, that, and the other. You're making all sorts of enemies. You know what I mean? Some of these guys don't care. You got wins, like. I've had friends shot dead in their car with their wins in the back. I've had friends shot in their house with their wins in the house. Bad men do not care about wins, because you've got your win with you, you're an easier target because you're more relaxed. That's the way these cunts look at it. Sorry for saying that word. I don't like using that word, but it's a touchy subject. I've lost a lot of good friends, like. But that's a morning routine, guys, and I hope it helps. I don't know. This is a bit nuts. I've never done nothing like this before. I'll maybe try and cut it down a wee bit, 47 minutes. But like I said, this is for my followers. You know what I mean? This is for you guys that like my videos. And I'm not going to apologise for that. I'm not here to do wee short videos and they get all, they do the algorithms and do all that. I'm here for you 150 to 200 that are watching my videos. And you are so loyal. So because you are doing that for me, I'm fucking doing this for you. It's as simple as that. If I can help you in any way at all, and I know it's a long video to try and get a small message across, and I don't really know how, because I'm just blabbering. This is a thing, I don't really know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I know I've got an idea, but to me it's all over the place. To me it sounds absolutely terrible and absolutely ridiculous. It really does, you know what I mean? But it just takes a wee bit of bravery to just put it out there and just get the feedback. I can always tell if you think it's, I just don't get as many comments, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But normally these are like always telling me, and I've got good friends as well who contact me. They would tell me straight, you know what I mean. So, but like I say, guys, I don't know. I really don't know how good or what I'm doing, if I'm doing things right. I have not got a Scooby Doo. So, any comments that are positive, even negative, that criticize me, that tell me that maybe do this or not do that. I love the fact that it was I forgot his name. He told Kai about drinking the milk out of the bottle. I love that, you know what I mean? And like somebody's told me about doing that. It was me banging this, and somebody's told me about me blowing my nose doing that, bring a hanky out and stuff. Good criticism. I need criticism like that. So I'm thinking about me swearing. I've got anything like that, guys. It helps me up here as well, because it isn't easy doing these kind of videos, especially the long videos. And it does help me as well because like I feel like I'm talking to my mates. You know what I mean? So I've got nearly an hour here. That my day that I'm not lonely or on my own. If, not I've got my dogs. I'm never lonely. But you know what I mean. And Katie and Babe, I'll see Katie and Baby later. And I've got to go and look for the bike today. Nothing to use about that, have I? So the bike. Know where the bike is. So guys and dolls, I am looking for the bike. I have intelligence where the bike is. I know who's got the bike, and I know where they're floating about in the bike. So it's kids. So it is. They found the bike. Somebody's took the bike out of where it was, and they've dumped it. And obviously, kids have got to hurley it. So know everything I need to know about it. So I'm now walking about a certain place, knowing where they are. I think I just missed them, so hopefully I'll get them on the way back. I'll get the bike back. So yeah, all good. I'll keep you posted. Don't know where the bike is. I know what area the bike's in, and I know the name of the guy who either has the bike or stole the bike. First name. So the rest is all gonna come. This is like 24 hours, and so we were there last night because they're using a pathway that I know where they're using. We just missed them. So there's a fork. We went right the one way, and they went that way. A guy walked down, goes, I went that way really fast. I'm like, ah. So what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So what would I have done before would have been quite extreme. And I've had to sort of calm myself down and talk myself out of my normal way of dealing with somebody that steals off me. Got to remind myself that I'm not in prison anymore. This is the outside world, and I've also got to remember that they're just young lads that don't know me, and they're just thieves. And at the end of the day, they're somebody's sons. There's some mother's sons as well, and I'm going to keep that in my head. You know, um, it's unfortunate they don't know who they stole it off, of course, and yeah, but I'm not going to hurt them. I'm not going to do nothing bad. And like I said to Katie, it's only a material thing. It's just a bike. I am going to find out exactly what's happened, whether the bike was taken from there and dumped, which I think is what's happened from what I'm hearing. I think these guys have found the bike rather than stole the bike. So I'm keeping that in mind as well. But yeah, so yeah, I was there a few hours last night in the dark, you know, and it's one of them things. One class, this is what happens, But I'll give you my words. I'll give you my word. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to do any damage. Obviously, if they come at me or anything like that, I am going to defend myself, but I'm not going to punish them. Okay, I'm not going to do nothing like that. And but Katie wants her bike back, so I'm gonna get her bike back. And there's no point phoning the police, guys, as you know. I know somebody might not know, but if I was to phone the police and basically tell the police that I know my bike is in this area, because I'm not grassing the guy in. I can't do that. I just can't do that. I'm not gonna stick the boy in. When I find out who he is, I'm gonna deal with it myself. You know what I mean, and try and have a chat with him at least. You know what I mean. The bike's damaged. It's been hot wired. So but it really isn't about. It's not about money or the bike or anything like that. Or principles and all that. Like, you know what I mean. Yes, Katie's upset, and Katie wanted them chopped up into wee bits and put in a hole. I'm only joking. But no, she was quite upset, and the other members of the family were quite upset. You know what I mean. But yeah, managed to find out. Obviously. We never take too long to find these things out. Like, at the end of the day, it's a small world, But yeah, it is what it is. So I'll keep you updated on how that goes. So obviously I'm also got a way of trying to get them to sell me it, you know what I mean? So I'm also got people, I'm Traveller Mark is looking for a knockoff bike, a wee hottie, a wee stoley from my daughter, and hopefully I get a wee phone call with my offering me my own bike back. So I'll let you know how it goes. And listen, guys, I know it's a really long video. I'm really, really sorry, but good morning, and have a really good Friday. And I might not it's Friday, so I'm thinking about doing a live Saturday and Sunday. I'll do another wee video a day later on the day. I promise, a wee short one when I'm out with the dogs. I'll take when I take the dogs out later, and I'll let you know about the lives. But definitely a live on Sunday, guys, as always, 6:30. So I'll see you then. So God bless you all, and have a really good day, guys and dolls.